Hi everyone, I'm Taylor and I'm so glad you're here to dive into another science experiment. So this month we're going to be looking at angular momentum, specifically conservation of momentum. So I'm sure you've heard at some point that there's these things called laws. You probably experience them in your day-to-day life, like no stealing and stuff, but did you know there's actually laws of physics as well that govern how our entire universe works? So one of these laws is the law of gravity, and it's what keeps us attached to the floor so we don't go floating off into space. Another one is Newton's third law, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into a science experiment with that law. And we're going to be looking at momentum, which is basically just looking at how fast something's moving and its size. So today we're going to investigate what happens when something is spinning and you change its size. So to do that, we're going to use my handy dandy yarn swift to start with, because it spins very, very easily. And then we're also going to try it out on an office chair so you can experience those changes in momentum. You can also use a tire swing or basically anything that spins on one axis right in the middle to do this experiment. But if you have an office chair, you can go to a park and do a tire swing. There's a lot of different ways to try this experiment at home. But we're going to start off with our yarn swift. So I'm going to make it really, really big, and then I'm going to spin it for 3 seconds. And we're going to count how many times it spins. Ready? And now I'm going to make it smaller. And then you count how many times it spins. So we're going to do this for about 3 seconds. And now we're going to go back and count in just a second. And I'll walk you through how we're going to plot out what the change was. And then we're going to try it again with a chair, an office chair. So you're going to spin with your arms out and then pull them in really, really tight and see if you change speed. So now we're going to investigate conservation of momentum with a spinning chair in the same way that we did with the yarn swift. So I'm going to spin in one place and I'm going to change how big I am. So my diameter in this case, so which is how far across it is in a circle. So I'm going to hold some books to put a little bit more weight in my hands, just to make it a little bit more obvious that you can hold weights or you can just spin. Or you can even do it on a tire swing where you lay all the way out and pull in, or anything else that's spinning right on top of yourself to make this work. So ready? All right, so now we're going to count how many times we spin in 3 seconds. So you can either have a friend do it for you.
Okay, so now that we have all of our data, we're going to now actually fill in our chart to see which one spins faster in a graphical way so we can analyze this like scientists. So when it's spread out for the yarn swift, how many times did it spin? So it only spun twice. So we're going to color in to 2. But when it was pulled in, it spun 3 times. So now we just color in to 3. So now we can see that it definitely spun faster when it was pulled in. So to answer the question of what happened, when the yarn swift was wider, it was slower than when it was smaller because it only spun twice versus 3 times. So to spin 3 times in the same amount of time, it must have spun slower. So now we'll do the same thing for the chair or tire swing or whatever else you used. So when I had my arms spread out, I only spun once in 3 seconds. But when I pulled my arms in, I spun twice in 3 seconds. So again, I was slower when my arms were wider. And also, when I had my arms pulled in, I felt a lot more forces pulling on me. It was harder to keep my arms in than when I had my arms pulled out. So there is a little bit of a difference. You can feel some of that difference on forces to be able to keep this momentum. So now let's dive into what happened. Now that we know that if you change your size, your speed is going to change. And when you get smaller, you're going to spin faster. So why is that? So we talked about conservation of momentum at the beginning. So the idea in conservation, remember, is that everything stays the same. So it stays the same. So if we don't change the size of our spinning so either ourselves or the yarn swift that I use, then you just keep spinning until air resistance or something else, you just didn't spin it hard enough and eventually it'll stop. But if you change its size, its speed is going to change because momentum has to do with speed and size. And momentum, if it has to stay the same, then if speed increases, your size has to decrease. Or vice versa, if your size increases, your speed has to decrease. So if we're thinking about this, we can also use this little illustration. So the idea is that we have 5 total balls. And no matter what we do, we have to keep 5 total balls. So I start off with 3, 1, 2, 3 in one bucket, and 1, 2 in the other. So that means I have a total of 5 balls. But if I wanted to make this bucket smaller and have just 1 in there, then the other one has to have 4 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, so that I still have a total of 5. So that's the same idea here with keeping momentum the same. It's the same idea as having these 5 total balls no matter what. So if we decrease our size, then our speed has to increase. So that's what conservation of momentum is, and you can experience it yourself if you spin in an office chair. But now every time you spin in an office chair or on a tire swing, you can think about all the cool science that you've now learned. And I hope you had a great time.